Soulscreen here, welcome back to the channel where we talk about K-dramas not just as shows, but as experiences we feel together. If you love romantic comedies that quietly sneak up on your heart instead of shouting for attention, then today's news might already be giving you a little spring fever of your own. So let's talk about TVN's upcoming Monday through Tuesday drama Spring Fever, starring Ahn Bo Hyun and Lee Joo, officially premiering on January 5th. On paper, this sounds like a familiar rom-com setup. A cold female lead, a warm-hearted male lead, a small village, and love slowly blooming. But the more details that come out, the more this drama feels like it could be something genuinely comforting, relatable, and surprisingly memorable. And honestly, I think this might be one of those dramas that grows on you episode by episode rather than trying to impress you all at once. First, let's talk about the characters, because for me, this is the biggest reason to look forward to Spring Fever. Ahn Bo Hyun plays Sun Jae-gyu, and just hearing that name already gives me a very specific image. He's big, rough-looking, maybe a little intimidating at first glance. The kind of guy villagers probably whisper about before they actually get to know him. But underneath that exterior is someone with a soft, almost innocent heart. What really caught my attention is that his main goal in life isn't romance or success, but raising his nephew properly. That alone already makes him stand out from the usual rom-com male leads who often revolve entirely around the female lead. I personally love male characters who already have a sense of responsibility and emotional depth before romance even enters the picture. It makes the love story feel less like someone completing him and more like two people choosing each other. And Ahn Bo Hyun is such an interesting casting choice here. He's played intense, dark, even villainous roles before, so seeing him as a rom-com lead who's described as impossible to hate feels refreshing. I'm especially curious about how his straightforward, unpredictable personality will translate into comedy. Those are usually the characters who say the wrong thing at the wrong time, but somehow make you smile instead of cringe. Now let's talk about Lee Joo as Yunbom, because her character feels like the emotional core of this story. Yunbom is an emotionally closed-off high school teacher who moves from Seoul to a small provincial town after a shocking incident. We don't know exactly what happened yet, but the description already tells us a lot. She used to be someone who enjoyed love, attention, and popularity. She wasn't always cold. She wasn't always distant. Something happened that made her shut down emotionally, and instead of dealing with it head-on, she chose to escape to a quieter place. This kind of character always hits close to home for many viewers, because let's be honest, who hasn't wanted to run away after getting hurt? The idea of starting over in a smaller, quieter environment is something a lot of people fantasize about. Lee Joo has this calm, understated presence that I think will work really well here. She doesn't overact emotions, and that's important for a character like Yunbom, who doesn't openly express how she feels. What I'm most interested in is how the villagers perceive her. She's described as mysterious, which tells me she's probably not going to immediately blend in or be warmly welcomed. That tension between her inner pain and the curiosity of people around her could add a subtle layer to the story that goes beyond romance. Now, when you put these two characters together, that's where things get really interesting. Sun Jae-gyu is emotionally open, straightforward, and probably not very good at hiding what he feels. Yunbom, on the other hand, is guarded, careful, and emotionally distant. This contrast is classic, yes, but classic doesn't mean boring if done right. In fact, some of the most beloved rom-coms rely on this exact emotional temperature difference. What excites me is the promise that their relationship will shake up the entire village. That tells me their romance won't exist in a vacuum. It won't just be private glances and secret meetings. Their interactions will be noticed, talked about, and probably misunderstood by others. That usually leads to both comedy and emotional conflict, which is exactly what a good rom-com needs. I also appreciate that the production has emphasized honest romance. Not exaggerated, not overly dramatic, but heart-fluttering in a realistic way. Those are the moments that stick with viewers the longest. A simple conversation at night. An awkward silence that says more than words. A small gesture that feels huge because of what it means emotionally. Now let's talk about the chemistry, because no rom-com survives without it. From the descriptions alone, it sounds like Ahn Bo Hyun and Lee Joo are bringing very different emotional energies to their roles, and that contrast is intentional. Warm versus cold. Open versus closed. Straightforward versus reserved. When chemistry works in these cases, it's not about flashy skinship or dramatic declarations. It's about tension. It's about the space between them. It's about the audience wanting them to take just one more step closer. I personally think this pairing has a lot of potential, especially because neither actor is typically boxed into light rom-com roles. That unpredictability makes me more curious. Sometimes the best chemistry comes from actors you don't immediately expect to be paired together. I also want to know what you think. Do you feel excited about this pairing, or are you still unsure? Let me know in the comments, because casting chemistry is always one of the most debated topics among K-drama fans. Now, we can't talk about Spring Fever without mentioning the director, Park Won Guk. If you watched Marry My Husband, then you already know this director understands emotional pacing. He knows how to balance darker themes with moments of warmth and humor. The fact that he described Spring Fever as enjoyable, fresh, and heart-fluttering, rather than exaggerated, really stood out to me. Lately, a lot of rom-coms try too hard to be loud or quirky, sometimes at the expense of emotional sincerity. Hearing a director openly say that this drama aims for relatability instead of exaggeration makes me hopeful. It suggests that Spring Fever wants to be something you watch at the end of a long day and feel comforted by, not overwhelmed. I also love that the director highlighted the idea of the two leads comforting each other while searching for happiness. That tells me this drama isn't just about falling in love, but about healing. About finding joy again after disappointment. About learning to open up, even when it feels scary. And honestly, dramas like that tend to age well. They might not explode with instant hype, but they become shows people recommend months later, saying, "You should watch this when you need something warm." As we approach the premiere on January 5th at 8:50 p.m. KST, I can't help but feel cautiously optimistic. Spring Fever doesn't promise groundbreaking twists or high-stakes conflict. Instead, it promises something quieter and more intimate. A story about two imperfect people meeting at a vulnerable point in their lives. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you a few things. Are you planning to watch Spring Fever as it airs, or are you waiting to see early reactions first? Do you prefer soft, healing rom-coms like this, or do you lean more toward intense, dramatic romances? And what do you think about small-town settings in K-dramas? Do they feel cozy to you, or do you prefer big city stories? Let's talk in the comments, because half the fun of watching K-dramas is sharing our thoughts, theories, and emotional reactions together. If you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned to Soul Screen for more K-drama news, deep dives, and honest conversations. Until next time, keep watching, keep feeling, and I'll see you in the next video.